And there she is. Oh, she's got her crown on. All right.
Hello, everyone. I'm calling you today, or speaking to you today, to talk to you about this 33-day vigil for freedom and abundance, starting last Saturday, November 10th. And this was called by Saint Germain. So the vigil goes for 33 days, and the focus is going to be on the violet light, the freedom flame, and the emerald light, the abundance flame. During this vigil, Saint Germain is challenging every heart friend to manifest $1,000 to $2,000 above and beyond normal tithing through divine magic. So this would be manifesting approximately $200,000 for the Heart Center and at least $2 million for Heart Friends. Now this vigil goes until December 12th. That's 12, 12, 12, which is a very alchemical day. So I expect great things from this vigil. Some of the things that Saint Germain said in its dictation on November 10th is that we are at a crossroads. The light of freedom is being challenged. First we must have freedom, and then we can have abundance. If we open ourselves to greater abundance and flow, if we truly accept that the impossible is possible, and that with God all things can manifest. We also create our world by focus and vision. It is a time to discern what to do, then to do it in practical ways. We can all save. Each waste time and money. Each of us can assess our lives and see what time wasters and abundance wasters we have accommodated. And this is an opportunity to prove the law of being. We can build a momentum now for the next year, and especially to get us through the winter months. So I know all of you are aware of what's going on in the media. They're talking about a crash. And this always does affect our consciousness on some level. And I think part of this is to keep our focus and vision on what we desire to manifest. There is so much negativity about the economy and the debt and all that. Well, I've read a number of articles, and there are people out there that believe that that the U.S. and the world has so many resources, and we can overcome anything, really, if we put our minds to it. And the media's focus on that is they're not focusing on what we can do. They're focusing on what all of our problems are. So I think this is a really important part of this vigil to be involved in this, because right now, if you look at the forces of dark and light on the earth, really the battle is for our vision. And so if we believe the ship is going down, it will. If everyone envisions a golden age, it will manifest. And it starts with us. It starts with our organization. So do you wish to live in a world of lack and disintegration that the media is talking about? Even well-meaning people on the internet are focused on that. Well, we at the Heart Center see the golden crystal age manifest. That's our community vision. And we desire to continue to spread the love, wisdom, teachings of the Masters and to help all fulfill their divine destiny. To do this, we must expand our operations. We really desire to have a $15,000 increase per income increase per month in donations or tithes, about $180,000 a year. This would allow us to keep our operations at the current staff level. A $30,000 per month increase in donations would allow us to expand further. So $180,000, which is about close to Saint Germain's goal, is what we really desire to have, and then to move forward, to expand our operations further, we'd love to have more. So this is an opportunity for our community to grow, for us to prove the law, for you to expand your own abundance if you take up this challenge by Saint Germain. You know, if you tithe or if you give seed money or donations, your return is tenfold. And if you are a part of the will project, where you put the heart center in your will, under Amoy's dispensation, you'll get a 20-fold return. So I'm here today dressed as Fortuna, and I've got my golden laurel wreath on, and I've got right here on my head, and that was given to me by Victory, so that I could call to my golden laurel wreath and manifest abundance, and call for more abundance for heart friends, and to magnetize that abundance to heart friends. So I'm going to be using that during this vigil, and I've got all my jewelry on. I've got my rings, my manifesting rings, my bracelets, my necklaces. I've got my Saint Germain cross, and I've also got other things that I can use to do my manifestation. Now, sometimes we don't know where the money's going to come from. And in fact, a lot of times we don't when we're involved in these alchemies. We just have to listen to the Holy Spirit. And part of that is if you're involved in this vigil, you can just ask that you can participate and ask your higher self to tell you how. And you don't have to spend a lot of time worrying about how you can do it. Just let yourself be inspired. And as you're giving decrees, as you're participating, you will be inspired of ways you can do it. There's lots of ways to manifest money that we've discussed. And during our vigil, we will be reading inspirational stories. We will be sharing testimonies on how to manifest, how other people have manifested money. We'll be asking you to share your own as it goes along, any that you've had in the past and any that you do during this vigil. We'll also be reading from books on abundance, and one of the books that we can focus on is The Art of Soaring, which is divine magic. So using divine magic, a number of heart friends have been using divine magic with very magical results. So that's another thing we can do. You can order The Art of Soaring and read that book. It's a great book, and for those of you that have taken the divine magic class, there are a lot of keys, and there is no coincidence that we're having this vigil after we've taken that class. So here I am. I've got my precipitating props. I've got my Saint Germain coin. What can I do with this, I wonder? And I've got, how can I precipitate? And I've got my a silver eagle here, beautiful silver eagle. I could use that in an alchemy some way. And I've got, of course, a beautiful gold eagle. I wonder how I could use that. So I'm going to be joining you in this alchemy. I've got a number of projects this year. I've got a business I'd like to start. I'd like to be successful in that. I think this is an opportunity for me to plant the seed to be successful in my business. So these are the ways that I'm considering that I might precipitate, and we can, during the broadcast, Heart Friends will share how to do some of these methods. One is the treasure map. That's always a great method. It's worked every time for me. You just have to sit down and put it together and look at it once or twice a day. They said that I've read that the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire is the millionaire looks at his goals once a day and the billionaire looks at his goals 3 times a day. So mind maps is another thing I have used, and that's taught through the conscious language by, let's see, I'm trying to remember his name. Maybe you can remember it, Tucker, but the conscious language courses given that we have studied, and I've used that. It's a visual map. I used that last year for manifesting abundance for the Heart Center. I did this mind map, and I put these crazy numbers on there. I thought at the time for the Heart Center, I was like, well, I don't know where this is going to come from, but I'll just put it down. And then we had the Karmic Board dispensation, and it was just amazing to see how well these work. Another way to manifest is through seed money. If you give some seed money, you can do it as money. You could, for instance, look for things in your household that you no longer require. You can donate those, or if you have a car that you're not using, you have jewelry, you have stock that's sitting there, you have a sculpture, a nice painting. You could possibly donate those to the Heart Center as seed money, and then do your alchemy that way. And seed money comes back very quickly all the times I've practiced that. So sometimes the same day. And you just have to be aware. I think part of the success that people have in manifesting is being aware of when you're receiving your return, because sometimes you don't notice it. Another way to increase your abundance is to increase your tithe. Some of you are tithing 10%, some of you are less, and 10% is usually the rule, because you're going to get 100% return. So you're keeping your same income, and actually it's growing a little. That's what I've noticed. If you go to 20%, you're creating a lot more flow in your life, and so that's one way to do that. And everybody that's done it, it's a big deal to do it. You think, oh, how am I going to pay my bills? But the fact is that everybody that's done it just immediately finds that everything works out fine, and the universe rearranges itself, and you get your debts paid off, or whatever your goals manifest, and you're tithing 20%. So it's really not as hard as it sounds. I did an experiment of I donated $1, and then what my plan was to keep building that, see how long I could build it to $1,000 by donating 50% of my return. So I donated $1 at a conference to Deborah Timberlake, our president. She's like, oh, okay, Jackie, I didn't tell her what my alchemy is. That's one thing you got to do, is don't tell anybody what your alchemy is till it's completely done. And so I didn't tell her. I just handed her this $1, and she's like, okay, Jackie. And so I gave her the $1, and then I went over to buy something that I had immediately, that I had previously desired to purchase. And it was something that was like $125. I went over to this other place, and so she said, well, this thing normally costs $120, but I'll give you $10 off. And I was like, okay, and I went about my way, and I was expecting, because I was doing the seed money 50% tithing thing, because I knew that I would get it back very quickly. I was like going through the rest of the day going, well, I would have expected to get my return by now. I don't remember. I don't see it. And I sat there thinking about it that night, and I realized that I got it immediately. At the next business, they gave me $10 off. That was my 10% return. So then I took $5 of that, and I ran down. We were still at the conference. I ran down, and it was 9 o'clock at night, and I knocked on Deborah's door, because I know she's a night owl. And I handed her $5, and I said, okay, here's 5 more. And she's like, okay, Jackie, whatever you're doing. And so she accepted it, and then my alchemy continued. The next day, somebody bought my lunch, and that gave me my return, and so on and so on. And it took me about a month, and I had made $1,000 by doing that. So there's a lot of fun ways you can precipitate, and that's the thing, is to do it. You have to do it. You have to try it. So another way precipitating is using the divine magic through the art of soaring and through our class that we took. So there's a lot of methods given there by Wayne Purdon. You can study that. You can take that class. Also, another way a lot of people have precipitated is by being grateful. They've gone around and been grateful for everything they had, and they were able to precipitate more flow into their life, because that's part of the flow is the return current, and it's money is important, your time is important, the love and the energy you give to life is important, and being grateful is a very important part of that. So you can just practice being grateful every day for all that's in your life. So another way to do it is, as Del Moria has shared, is putting the heart center in your will and increasing your return on your tithe. And we just had a wonderful story by a heart friend, Miriam Harris. And she's a young lady, and she desired to participate in El Moria's will program. She thought, well, I'm young and I don't really have anything to give, but I'm going to do it. And so she did that, and she ended up being on Wheel Fortune and precipitating $30,000 from that show. And she contributes that. That's not the right word, but to the Will Project. So and El Moria's dispensation. So that's another way to do it. And we'll have a link on the abundance page. We'll have an abundance page. We're getting it up pretty quickly on this vigil, and it'll be on the front page of the Heart Center website, and you'll be able to click through and find the links to the wills page where you can learn about doing your will. One of El Moria's dispensations was increased life, a 20% return on your tithes, and there were other things that an ability to precipitate more in your life. And so he was really a great dispensation. And if you want to learn more about it and what he said on it, then go to that page. So the other thing we've talked about is assessing your assets and see what you no longer require. Donate these and use this as seed money to manifest abundance. So these are some of the ways that you could join us in this alchemy. And then there are other ways too, I'm sure, that other heart friends will share. So I hope you join us and you help us in our mission and help us in your own. Because what I desire is to see everyone be successful in what they're doing. And we do have many stories, as we'll be sharing, but some of the stories I could share was recently one heart friend who had been tithing quite a bit. She didn't really notice any increase in her income. It was about the same, but she's just a fiery heart friend and wanted to tithe. She kept tithing. And then one day she went to the bank, and the teller asked her whether she desired to sell some stock she had in her account worth about $5,000. And she was truly amazed because she didn't know she had any stock. So that's an example of unexpected income. Other heart friends have been using the art of soaring and divine magic to precipitate. And one person was telling me about that she received several checks in the mail, one over $500 after using these methods. So really very good way of precipitating. In my own case, I've been tithing and I've been building a house, and I've got a few other projects going on, and a lot of money's going out. And I've been keeping up my tithe, and I've actually been tithing a little extra to keep things going. And I tell you, it's going as well as a project like that could ever go. And I've been getting a lot of free things and extra things. One of the things that was happening this month, the last few months, is that we've had a lot of rain. I have a well that I'm in a rental house that's challenged to produce enough water, and so I have to have water deliveries, and it costs $50 to $100 per month. Well, because of the extra rain, we've had more than enough water. So very unexpected source of income, but it's really helping me out right now. Another friend I wanted to mention, she was a big supporter of the Heart Center, and she gave a big, huge donation. And when I saw it, I thought, oh, that's a lot of her retirement funds. Whether it is or not, I don't know. But that's what I felt when she gave it. But she just desired to see the Heart Center grow. And about a year after that, she met and married her true love. And so I knew that was part of her return on her abundance. And what better way to have to spend your retirement than to be with your true love. So God works in wonderful ways, and your return is always much better than what you can imagine. So I hope you will join us, tune in to our broadcasts, and join us in this alchemy for the benefit of our own divine plans, our community of heart friends, and for the world economy. Thank you very much.